Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto was an object to Orochimaru and caused the mutation, Naruto x Tayuya, Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Komachi looked through the base she and her team had discovered along their mission. Completely underground, she couldn't understand what the protective measures were for. So far, they had all seemed to keep something inside. She opened another locked door and came to the center room. She stood there, gaping at what she saw. A young boy was in a test tube, needles going into his body but no visible means for oxygen to get to his lungs. He looked about 8, from his size. His eyes were closed and his hair was discolored by the dark green liquid he was in. A heart monitor beeped constantly. As she moved forward, she lightly touched the glass. His hand twitched when she did. "What did they do to you?" she whispered. His hand twitched again and his heart rate started going up. The computer monitors flared warnings. She turned to one, trying to figure out what it meant. "What the hell does it mean?" Chaos reaction. Her answer came from the tube. The boy had grabbed his head and was thrashing about in pain. His skin was darkening, looking similar to leather over flesh. His hair turned rigid while his hands turned into claws. The skin of his face turned blue, his eyes snapped open, glowing yellow. He had turned into a demon. He roared and began to try to break out. Looking back at the computer, it showed a box with the words, "Administer proto-gem." Yes. No. Having no choice, she pressed yes. A glowing gem was lowered from the ceiling. It was held in front of the machine and the boy looked at it, losing his animal behavior. He tried to reach out for it before the anesthetics rendered him unconscious again. She breathed a sigh of relief before the door opposite where she entered opened, revealing several scientists that were just as surprised to see her as she them. "What have we here?" one of them asked, pulling out a kunai. "Great. Ninja doctors," Komachi muttered. "That's right, girlie," he said to her. "We must thank you for doing that. It would have been bad if our experiment escaped. Orochimaru-sama would have been very displeased." He lunged at her and Komachi jumped out of the way, making him smash the computer she was just using. They fought back and forth for a minute, no one noticing the warning on the cracked computer screen. Anesthetics shutting down. Chaos awakening. Containment losing power. Activate emergency locks. Yes. No. With no one noticing, the computer was left unanswered. Chaos twitched a few times before opening his eyes. He looked at the proto-gem and lifted a claw to press against the glass closest to it. Looking around, he saw the woman from earlier as well as the bad men. He looked back to the gem, knowing what would happen if he got too far from it. He would lose control again. Looking back to the woman, he saw she was in big trouble. He glanced back and forth before smashing a claw against the grass, shattering it and grabbing the gem. They all looked to him as he roared, slamming the gem into his chest over his heart. Parts of his flesh bound it to him before he slammed a fist into the rest of the container, trying to break it. "Great Kami, it's escaping," one yelled in terror. He ran to the closest computer to try to activate the emergency measures to find it not responding. Oh, God no. A window on the monitor opened, saying, "Test subject escaped, locking fire walls." The doors leading to this room all closed and the automated locks slid shut. Just in time for Chaos to break the last of the tube and step out, growling. The one that had attacked Komachi threw his kunai at Chaos. The boy didn't block it, he kept walking forward. The kunai hit his chest and bounced off, the tip bent. He grabbed the first doctor and pushed his claw right through his heart. Tossing aside the body, he glared at the next and jumped at him. In the air, wings spread from his back. Chaos landed on the doctor and the spear-like tip of his right wing slammed into the man's head, killing him. Chaos looked at the last doctor, the one that had tried to stop him escaping. Growling, he stood up from the body, holding it by the arm. Walking forward, he swung the body like a club, shattering the last doctor's spine. Tossing aside the broken corpse, he picked up the whimpering man. With a glance at the sealed door, he roared a final time and used the doctor to break the door open. He took several deep breaths until his ears twitched. He heard someone else's heartbeat. He turned around and looked at Komachi. She wasn't one of the bad men, he knew them all. But who is she? Chaos stepped forward, making Komachi back away. His wings folded back up as he walked closer. He looked at her inquisitively for a moment. Who are you? Komachi gaped at him. You talk. Yes, Chaos replied. Who are you? Did you help me get out? I think so. I'm Komachi of the Hidden Leaf Village. Chaos furrowed his brows, trying to think. Leaf. So familiar. Konoha. Home. He rubbed his hair, growing more confused. Old man. He said I would be a good ninja. Where am I? Where's the old man? His breaths began to shorten as he panicked. How did I get here? Where am I? Komachi put her hands on his shoulders, scaring him. He grabbed them and squeezed. Komachi winced but didn't cry out. It's all right, Chaos, it's all right. Stay calm, I'll get you home. Home, he looked at her, scared, while his grip began to ease up. Home, promise. No more bad people. No more bad people. Can you let go of my arms? You're hurting me. Sorry, don't hurt me, he said, stepping back, tears falling. I'm sorry. She knelt down and hugged him. Despite him looking like a demon, he was just a scared, lost child. It's all right now, I'm here, I'll protect you. Don't cry. Chaos clung to her, crying his eyes out. Komachi looked up when the rest of her team walked in, showing signs of battle. She held a finger to her lips when they stared at Chaos. Chaos, is that your name? Chaos looked into space, trying to remember. Name, my name, Nah, I don't remember. Just the bad men calling me Chaos. Walking down a street, men in masks grabbed me. Said something, maybe that was my name. Demon, that my name. No, Chaos, that isn't your name. Let's find you some clothes and get you out of here. Picking him up, she carried him out. Looking to a teammate, she asked, what happened? There were a dozen personnel here in all. All of them scientist ninja working for Orochimaru. He glanced at Chaos. He is the only surviving test subject we've found so far. Komachi nodded, pressing a hand to the back of Chaos' head. The tips of his hair spikes cut her palm but she didn't care. You poor baby, how could they do this to you? Chaos locked his arms around her neck and leaned his head against her shoulder, falling asleep. He saved my life. I doubt he's 8 and he saved my life. Her teammate swallowed. Makes it harder to do this then. He pulled out a kunai. No, he's just a child, how could you even think of doing that? Look at him, Komachi. Do you think it's humane to make him live like that? He isn't hurting for that, I know it. He looks different but he's still human. That tore 3 men apart. He shook his head. Are you willing to chance Konoha with taking him back? Yes. Because I know Chaos won't harm a soul that doesn't harm him. Are you sure? Is there even a doubt in your mind? The image of Chaos trashing about like an animal flashed through her mind. Not even the shadow of a doubt. He is just a lost child. All right, he said, returning it. I pray you aren't wrong. Chaos suddenly opened his eyes and looked around fearfully. Bad man, the bad man is here. He struggled to get down. The bad man is here. Chaos, calm down, who is here? Chaos focused on her and calmed a little. The bad man. Narrow face. Eyes, yellow eyes, black lines, not black circles. He's here. He forced himself down and looked fearfully down the hallway they were moving down. No. He turned to the wall and punched it, breaking it down. He jumped inside the hold in the wall and Komachi followed. 2 of her teammates followed while the third one was about to move in, but before he could, blood burst from his chest with a sword. Go to! Komachi shouted in shock. He worked his jaw as the man that did it was revealed. Cuckoo, he laughed. So, my little Chaos knows when I'm around. Chaos, Come here and I won't punish you. Orochimaru pushed the man off his sword and walked into the room. You three, on the other hand, are about to die. Orochimaru, Kamachi growled, you did this to him, didn't you? I did. Chaos is perfect. Like this, nothing can damage him. Oh, he goes into his little rages, but, as you can see, that gem of his keeps him calm. Chaos, if you kill them, I won't hurt you anymore. Kamachi widened her eyes and looked at the boy. He had backed into a corner, shaking really bad. He kept glancing between her and Orochimaru. Chaos, I'm not going to repeat myself. Do it or suffer. Bad man. Nice lady. He stopped breathing hard and began to growl. Orochimaru grinned a moment as Chaos roared before lunging forward. Chaos hit Orochimaru and slammed him through a wall. Kamachi rushed to Goto. Talk to me. Goto, talk to me. He saved us. We would have walked right into him, Goto muttered. Save him, Kamachi. He swallowed hard. All survive, save him. Her teammate Tenzo knelt beside him. I'll bandage him up, then we all will. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Chaos tried to claw the bad man's heart out but was thrown away. So, even the son of the man that took everything from me is determined to do the same. Just like your father, Orochimaru stated. Chaos growled at him, spreading his wings again. They flapped and he rushed forward. He slammed into Orochimaru again, going right through the computer memory stations. One monitor showed a picture of Chaos before he changed, blonde hair, blue eyes, and his name. Namikaze Naruto. It flashed a moment before the data was lost. In their fighting, none of the data about who Chaos was remained. Orochimaru shot several snakes from his sleeves to bite him. The snakes hit Chaos and bit, but they couldn't get through his skin. He grabbed one and pulled. He punched Orochimaru, throwing him into another server. It sparked from the damage. Orochimaru shook his head, growled, and spotted his sword. He grabbed it and swung it at Chaos. It hit him and bounced off as well. You are everything I hoped for, Chaos. But I still know how to hurt you. He hand shot forward and grabbed the gem from his chest. He threw it back and Chaos tried to grab it. It went into the hallway, out of sight, and Chaos grabbed his head. He thrashed about, roaring in pain. After a moment, only the animal remained. Chaos began destroying everything around him, not even caring about Orochimaru. Then his eyes fell on Kamachi as she entered. He jumped on her, throwing her to the floor, and stopped. It's all right, Chaos, I'm here now, she whispered, his claws perking her chest. A hand was pressed to his chest, the gem back in place. Chaos looked shocked and sad about what he just did. He let go of her and stood up. As he destroyed a wall as behind him, Orochimaru laughed. He didn't even notice the gem until Chaos pushed his claw through his stomach. He grabbed his spine and began to pull it out. It broke before he could pull it all out and he threw it aside. Orochimaru crumpled to the floor like a puppet with its strings cut. He looked at Naruto fearfully before opening his mouth and another Orochimaru came out covered in saliva and slime. Weakened greatly, he decided to run. Chaos snorted before running back to Kamachi. I'm sorry, he whimpered, I'm sorry. Don't stop. Don't stop like the others. She'll be fine, son, Tenzo told him, kneeling beside her. She stopped you before you made her stop. Kira, he one that had thought about killing Chaos earlier, looked at Kamachi's wounds. They aren't bad, Chaos. She'll be okay. He looked around and said, I'm afraid we can't find out who you are now. I'm Chaos, he said. Bad man said something during fight. Fish cake. I don't like that name. Chaos much better. Kamachi chuckled, wincing a little. It is better. Chaos, when I first saw you, you looked different. Can you change back? No. It happens every now and then when I'm weak. I can't control it. He hugged her, you'll be okay. The 14-year-old rubbed his back. I am thanks to you, Chaos. She grabbed Tenzo's arm and pulled herself up, still holding him. Let's get you home. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Sarutobi looked at the child sleeping in the chair across from him, surprised. He had just been given the brief by Team 11. Team leader Tenzo had described the whole thing. Goto was at the hospital with Komachi, leaving Tenzo and Kira there with Chaos. He tore that place apart fighting him, Tenzo said softly. He's strong and Komachi believes he might have been from this village at one time. He doesn't remember much from before the experiments though. Just an old man. I see. Sarutobi muttered. He looked at his face, trying to find anything that reminded him of Naruto. There was nothing though. He had been missing for 2 years and Chaos was the right age, but there were a lot of missing children from Konoha. A good many seemed to have been in that lab. Naruto could just as easily been among the dead as not there at all. Chaos, wake up please. The child rubbed his eyes as he sat up. Yes. Who was this old man you mentioned? Was he your grandfather? I don't remember. He was just the old man. He looked after me though. Was I him? Sarutobi asked. Chaos searched his face for a minute. I don't think so. I just don't remember. He looked to the door before it opened. What's this I hear that you found that snake bastard? Anko shouted. She looked around and her eyes landed on Chaos. Quote. Is he? Yes, he was experimented on by Orochimaru, Sarutobi told her. Chaos watched her wearily as she moved closer. She looked him in his glowing yellow eyes a moment, seeing fear there. She hugged him and said, there, it's over now. He can't hurt you anymore. Anko has you now. Chaos felt safe and warm in her arms, so he hugged her back and said, Mama. That settled it for her. I'll take care of him, old man. And don't you dare release who did this to him. Old man, Chaos cheered, smiling as he christened him that. Sarutobi sighed. If you insist, Anko. I do. Then he is yours to take care of, as well as take responsibility for. So if he does anything, it will be your fault. Anko nodded, still hugging him. I understand. Me too, old man. I'll behave. I hope so. Don't worry, there shouldn't be a problem with getting him in the village. Take your son home, Anko. Yay. Home. He jumped to his feet and ran to the door. Grabbed the door handle, he pulled, without turning it. The door broke off the wall and he just stared at it. Oops. He put it back in place and stepped back, only for it to fall forward. He looked up and pointed to the man that had been on the other side. He did it. They stared at him a moment before Anko started to shake and finally laugh. Chaos smiled, not knowing why she did, only that he was the cause of it. Come here, Squirt. She picked him up and put him on her shoulders. How about I open the doors for now? Okay. But he did do it. Oh, I know. She whacked Kakashi upside the head. That's for breaking the door, Baka. Chaos grinned and bopped him too, Baka. Kakashi could only blink as he stared at the child, being taken away by Anko and then turned to the Hokage. What I miss? Anko just adopted the child Chaos, Tenzo told him. He looked at them and said, you have any idea how corrupted he's going to be? What is he anyway? He is a child that was experimented on. He lost his past and that form is his future, Sarutobi said with a sigh. Is he dangerous? Kakashi asked. Unbelievably so, Kira told him. He almost killed Orochimaru. But he is only dangerous to those that attack him. You saw him, he is a child. Kakashi looked back to where Anko and Chaos had been. Lost one demon, gain another. What was that, Kakashi? Sarutobi growled. Nothing, sir. Sarutobi glared at him for several minutes. You better not let your personal feelings for Naruto or Chaos show again, do I make myself clear? Yes, sir. Good. Now let me make this clear to you. Chaos is a child, not a demon. Treat him as anything else than that, and I will have the offender in jail by the end of the day. Provided Anko leaves anything left of them. Understand? Yes, sir, the ninja in the room replied. Pass that along, Sarutobi ordered. Ooh. Mama, Chaos said from behind the curtain. Why so much metal? So you can't break it, Anko replied. Now come on out. Chaos pulled the curtain back, revealing himself now. He wore a metal gauntlet over both hands as well as metal boots on his feet. He wore black pants tucked into his boots and red shirt cut to not cover his wings. Because of that, his midriff was shown as well. Not often you see a boy with an 8-pack abs, but Chaos had no fat on him. Anko grinned, thinking he looked pretty good. Definitely looked human now. Just a blue face and wings. Most of his skin was like black leather, so what was seen would easily be mistaken as clothes. Finally, a red headband was around his forehead, twisting through his rigid hair. Do I look good? Awesome, now let's get you some food. Chaos got this feral look at the mere mentioning of food and his stomach growled enough to shake the building. Quote. I take it you're hungry. His cheeks turned purple, he was blushing. Yes, I am. Taking his hand, Anko led him to her favorite restaurant. There, she ordered over a dozen servings of dango and a pot of tea. Chaos was bouncing in his seat as it was brought out for them. Before Anko could even reach for any, Chaos grabbed 2 handfuls of the dumpling sticks, and began eating with no regard for manners. He ate them by putting the skewer in his mouth and pulling all 3 off, quickly chewing, and swallowing. He ate all 8 sticks in 6 seconds, grabbed the pot of tea, drained it, and grabbed the remaining dango, ate them, and searched the table for more food. Where'd they go? Mama, did you hide them in your coat? She looked at him, shocked. She only got the stick, she was the one she was holding. No, you ate them all. Sorry, Mama, she sighed. He looked so sad that she couldn't even think of being mad. Bring some more out. 3 dozen. You're still hungry, right? I am, Mama. The waitress laughed that such a small little guy could eat so much. Definitely your son, Anko. 3 dozen dango, coming right up. With a few more pots of tea. She went in back and came out a few minutes later, the dumplings still hot. She set them on their table and Chaos dug in. At one point, a fly started heading to the food. He glared at it, and threw a dango skewer at it, pinning it to the wall. Anko couldn't help but laugh. Chaos seemed to jealously guard his food. As soon as the pots of tea came, he drained them. Finally, when the food was gone, Chaos fell back in his seat, this happy grin on his face. I'm full, Mama. You only ate enough for 10, she muttered. She paid for the food and picked him up. He wrapped his arms around her neck and let her carry him to her apartment. She set him on her bed and said, You get some sleep, little one. You have a big day tomorrow. He yawned. What happens tomorrow? I train you to become a ninja. She leaned down and kissed his forehead. Sleep. Oh babe. She hummed him a lullaby she remembered from when she was a child, quickly putting him asleep. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Chaos walked into the ninja academy, glancing around carefully. In the 4 years he had been in Konoha, Chaos had never been here before. Mama had said that the academy was for slackers and had gotten the old man's approval to study at home. To say he had thrived was an understatement. With friends like Ibiki and Kurenai, he was taught by the best. Tenzo, Kira, Goto, and Kamachi-chan taught him things as well. Around his belt, daggers, gifts from Ibiki, hung in sheaths. All of them were double-bladed stilettos at least 8 inches long with perfect throwing balance. His sword, Death Penalty, a gift from Kamachi-chan, could be used as a single sword in one hand, could separate to be used as a sword for each hand, or a double-bladed sword. That was his favorite one. He looked at the academy students staring at him. He felt shy about them staring, even after 4 years, but as the only son of the meanest bitch of a kunoichi to ever live in Konoha, his mama's own words, he would never show that. He gave them a wicked grin, revealing his fangs. His lips, he said, Ooh, my next meal. That got the point across as most were smart enough to look away. This one boy with duck hair and a fan on his back scoffed at him. I don't know who you are, but drop the tough guy act and henge. Chaos grinned evilly. How about you release it? Chaos challenged. He held his arms wide, waiting. Duck Boy raised his hand and tried several times to release the genjutsu but never succeeded. Chaos, a woman said behind them. Smiling, happy to hear the voice, Chaos turned to Kurenai. How have you been? I've been good, Kurenai-sensei. Hello, is this that Hinata you told me about? He looked at a Hyuga that hid behind Kurenai as he tried to get a good look at her. A pleasure to meet you. I am Mitarashi Chaos. She blushed a little at being the center of attention. Anyo. I'm Hyuga Hinata. Kurenai-san has told me much about you, Chaos-kun. Not a word of it is true, I swear, he joked. Hinata tilted her head and looked up at her escort to see her chuckling. Does that mean he isn't a very nice boy, Kurenai-san? He is, he's just being his mother's son right now. Go on, you don't want to be late for your genin exam, do you? No. Have a good day, Kurenai-san, Chaos-kun. She walked inside after that. Chaos watched her go in and found Sasuke seething at being forgotten. Yes, do I know you? Sasuke growled a moment before getting this. I'm better than you, look on his face. No, but you should. I'm Uchiha Sasuke, the heir of the Uchiha clan. Chaos looked at him blankly. Oh, you're the great-grandson of the traitor, Uchiha Madara. He smirked when Sasuke shook with rage. Am I wrong? Sasuke took a deep breath and walked inside. He stopped a moment when he heard Chaos make a chicken call after him. And, as always, you aren't willing to go with the crowd, Kurenai stated. Now where is the fun in that? Chaos replied. He popped his fingers before bowing to her. Ah, but, alas, dear lady, I must cut our time short. Yane. Without coming up from the bow, he shunshin into the air, grabbed a windowsill, and pulled himself inside. She is her son, Kurenai said before leaving. Chaos dropped down in a chair and kicked his boots up on the desk. When he saw Sasuke glare at him for taking his usual seat, Chaos grinned and said, "Why so serious?" The instructor came in and sat down at his desk. All right everyone, settle down. Iruka-sensei. Who is that thing in Sasuke-kun's seat? This pink hair girl called. Iruka looked up and smiled. Hello Chaos. Final decided to grace us with your presence. Chaos sat up and started speaking in a snobbish accent. Yes. I woke up this morning and decided to come down from up high and mingle with the commoners. He looked around with his nose up in the air. How vulgar. How do you put up with them? Chaos couldn't continue because he started laughing too hard. Iruka laughed as well. Everyone, this is Mitarashi Chaos, the son of one of the best Jonin Kunoichi Konoha has. As you can see, he doesn't have a serious side. Chaos grinned. Why so serious, sensei? Let's put a smile on that face. Oh no, last time you were determined to make a person smile, you paintballed the painting section of a museum. Chaos laughed again, wiping his eyes. That was a good one. Anyway, let's get on with the test. But why is he here? Sakura interrupted. Oh, why didn't you just ask? Mama got permission from the Hokage for home study. Sasuke looked at Irake in disbelief. You mean this clown was taught by an elite Jonin? Oh no, Chaos denied. It was 6 elite Jonin and several Chunin. Iruka sighed. Chaos always loved infuriating people. Too much like his mother at times. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Iruka sighed at the end of the day. He suddenly realized that there was one thing Chaos wasn't taught, restraint. First came the accuracy test. Chaos threw his kunai and shuriken hard enough to destroy the targets. Next came taijutsu. Chaos caught Mizuki's first attack and threw him at the targets. For test knowledge, Iruka knew that he knew very little for it. So when he graded his test and scored a perfect, he knew, somehow, without being seen, he had cheated. In the genjutsu test, Chaos pulled off the henge perfectly before doing another, making himself and Mizuki blow back from nosebleeds. Finally in the ninjutsu test, he filled the room with Kage Bunshin clones. Iruka even asked him at the end if he had any restraint and Chaos had replied, "What is this restraint you're talking about?" "No, Serious, what's restraint? Iruka had given him the Rookie of the Year title, naturally. And, naturally, Sasuke had challenged Chaos to a fight. And, naturally, Chaos had put him in the hospital with a broken arm. Now, there were two views on this. Some, the Uchiha supporters, demanded his ninja status, in the least of them, taken away. Others, who saw the potential in Chaos, thought that a slap on the wrist was called for. Danzo was among the second group. Anko, on the other hand, laughed it off and told him he did good and said that any person that tried to do anything to her son would face her first. Then God help them, they would face Chaos. There were, understandably, few willing to put anything forth. And that is the end of it, Hokage-sama, Iruka told him. You are certain he cheated? Sarutobi asked. Yes sir, I did train him in a few things. Yet you never saw anything. Never sir, Iruka replied. Like I said, a few things. Yet, without seeing, without proof, you still feel he cheated. I do. Sarutobi sighed. Yeah, he probably did. Makes him all the more deserving, no? It does, Iruka agreed. So, Rookie of the Year. That puts him with dead last, Shikamaru, and Haruno Sakura unless a certain team is requested with him on it. That's correct, sir. Sarutobi made a sound as he considered team placements. I honestly doubt that team will work, he stated. Besides, my son, Asuma, has already informed me he wants to train the next generation of the Inoshika Cho trio. And I think Sakura would try to hurt him, Iruka said. Stressing the try. I figure Chaos would put up with one attack before attacking back. Sarutobi agreed. Has he shown any commodity with any others? Naturally, he works really well with Kamachi, even if she is in Anbu now. Hinata also seems okay with him as he has compliment her. He seems drawn to Shino's outcast aura as well. Hinata and Shino, only slightly though, sir. He sighed. He is just too skilled and I think only just fully getting the hang of his strength. He understands that he is unnaturally strong and tries but he bruised Mizuki grabbing his arm for an instant. Sarutobi nodded after a moment. You're thinking of sending him on stronger team as a temporary replacement? Yes sir. I know that Team Guy can handle him. Though I question if he can handle them. And with most of his contact being with Jonin, I would understand that he would feel more comfortable with them. Very good point, Iruka, I will think about it. Until then, who do you suppose for the rest of them? Iruka gave a list of teams that he believed would give them the best chance at making it as genin before leaving. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Come on, Manda-sama, Chaos said atop the giant snake. Relax, have some fun. This is a party. I am the boss of all snake summons, I don't have fun. Oh, so that isn't your tail swaying along to the beat? Chaos asked him. Manda gave Chaos the best glare he could, which wasn't a good one. He did like Chaos for some reason. I swear I should eat you for implying such a thing. Chaos laid down on his head, chuckling. Remember how well that went the first time I summoned you? I made you throw me up. Something I still can't understand, the snake grumbled. Fine, I'll have some fun. Great, Anko said, drunkenly. She wheeled a barrel of sake over to him. Then you two must share a drink with me, she slurred. The two sighed. Chaos had been drinking sake since he was 10 while Manda sighed because he couldn't eat her as she was Chaos, mother. Fine, they said. A half hour later, both were singing badly. Oh, won't you show me the way to go home? I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a drink about an hour ago and it went straight to my head. Ba dum bump bump. No matter where you are, land, air, or sea, you will know that it is me by the little song that I sing. They repeated it, going faster. Mama, we're out of sake, he said, lifting the barrel over his head. She moaned where she fell so he turned to Manda. Looks like the party's over, Manda-sama. Too bad, he muttered. See you around, Chaos. Manda disappeared in a flash of smoke. Chaos helped his mother up and carried her in the house. Port, he said, moving left. Port, she said as well. Starboard, he said, moving right, which she repeated. She picked up a bottle that the passed and he said, drop it. Drop it, she slurred before doing so. Chaos set him mother in her bed and was pulled in as well. My little baby's all grown up. Mama, I'm not a little baby anymore. I know, she said, wiping a tear away. Who said you could do that? Why couldn't you stay small and cute? I believe that's called the passage of time, Chaos told her before giving her a hug. No matter what though, your mama, always was, always will be. He held her tight until he suddenly looked her in her eyes. Mama, what's restraint? Ooh oh 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 ooh. Sarutobi looked at the picture Chaos turned in. It was every bit as intimidating as he thought it would be. He had his wings unfolded, floating above the ground, death penalty in his right hand held in the air while his left hand was held out, claws extended. Chaos really had no fear of showing himself off anymore. I was thinking something really frightening, like some monster movie, but Mama said I need to look at least a little presentable, Chaos told him. His ears twitched and he was on his feet, charging the door. He was almost there when it was thrown open and a figure charged in with a kunai. Chaos. Stop! Sarutobi shouted at him. Chaos looked at him, holding the assassin in his claws, ready to tear his throat out. Thank Kami. That's my grandson. Chaos blinked at him and held the twerp in the air by his scarf. Wait, it isn't some elite assassin. Just some snot-nosed brat playing with the old man. Konohamaru just stared at Chaos a moment, shocked by what he saw. Then he realized what he said. I'm not playing. I'm going to beat the old man and take the Hokage title. Chaos stared at him blankly. 1. You do realize that you have to be chosen Hokage by majority vote of the Jonins, right? Konohamaru stopped struggling. No, I didn't. 2. You actually have to have ninja skills to be a ninja. And you have to be a ninja to be Hokage. Hey, I have mad skills. That's why I'm holding above the floor and you can't escape. Konohamaru started struggling again, but Chaos ignored that. 3. I highly doubt that you are ready to send people to their death. To be willing to sacrifice lives for the betterment of the village. Konohamaru gulped at that thought. Could you, if it was the best and only option, order the deaths of hundreds of the members of this village if they planned on betraying it? Konohamaru stopped struggling from how much Chaos just pointed out to him. That's enough, Chaos, Sarutobi told him. You shouldn't try to ruin a boy's dream. Ebusa, how did my grandson escape you again? Honorable Hokage, you see. Well, it's kind of embarrassing. Never mind, Sarutobi said with a sigh. Just take him back to training. Of course, sir. Chaos, release him at once. Chaos grinned at the man. Well, hello again, Mr. High and Mighty. Gee, you seem a lot more why now than last we met. He frowned. Just because you're Anko's son, doesn't mean you can disrespect me. As a soldier, now, you must follow the code of conduct. Which includes respecting those appointed above you and or with higher rank. Chaos nodded. That is true, I apologize, Ebusa-san. He set Konohamaru down. Honorable grandson, let's get back to training. After all, I am your shortest way to being Hokage. When Konohamaru was about to walk over to him, Chaos picked him back up. What was that, Ebusa? I thought I heard you say there were shortcuts. Sarutobi covered his eyes. This was going to be bad. Chaos set Konohamaru behind him. Of course, I must be hearing things because even you can't be dumb enough to believe that. Stay out of this, Ebusa ordered. Or what? We've sparred before, I know how to beat you. And I know, you didn't take a shortcut to get your rank. So, enlighten me, how will training under be the shortest way to being Hokage? Keep in mind, I was trained by a number of elite Jonins, not just one like him. He would be no different than a genin training under a Jonin with his team. Yes, you were trained under elite Jonin, Ebusa admitted. Which is why you are already considered an elite among all Konoha genin. So it should make sense to you that the same can be done with the honorable grandson. I got as strong as I am by shedding buckets of sweat, blood and tears. Buckets of tears and sweat. Chaos, Ebusa corrected. We all know you can't bleed. Ever since you became a Jonin, you've let that title go to your head. Honestly, what were you planning on teaching him? Jutsus, of course, Ebusa told him, pushing his glasses back up. They are the source of a ninja's power. Chaos growled, making him step back. Oh, and his body is capable of the strain then. Come on, brat, I'm going to teach you. Without waiting, he put Konohamaru on his shoulders, opened a window, and flew off. He can't do that, Ebusa shouted. He'll end up just like him and his mother. As he chased after them, Sarutobi sighed again. Then he brightened up. Actually, that might not be a bad idea. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Chaos landed outside his home. Mama, I need your help. What is it, baby? Anko said, walking out while eating a dango stick. This is Konohamaru. Ebusa is his trainer, and was filling Kono's head here with talk of shortcuts and that jutsus are power. Konohamaru finally realized just who he was with. He had heard talk about the snake woman, how her sensei was the traitor student of his grandfather. And she had a son that was likely the result of some experiment performed on her by that same man. I see, Anko said, smiling. Well, Konohamaru, you are in for a treat then. Welcome to Mitarashi boot camp. See this spiky haircut? It means I'm about to get some PT. See his spiky haircut? It means he's about PT too. And I see you already have a spiky haircut. Meaning you're about to get some PT. Konohamaru blinked a few times. What's PT? Chaos grinned evilly. Physical training. Orig. Ooh oh 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 ooh. I said keep running, Anko yelled behind Konohamaru as they jogged around a running track. My son is walking faster than you are running. I better not beat you, recruit, Chaos called. You, evil, sons, of. Konohamaru tripped, fell, and didn't get back up. Anko had him change into some of Chaos' old training clothes from when he was that small. Anko pressed her hand to his forehead, to feel it had gone dry. He's done, I'll take him home, you get a cold bath and some liquids for him to drink ready. She picked up Konohamaru and ran to their home. Chaos jumped into the air and flew ahead. He got there and did as his mother ordered. He opened the door when he heard someone outside it to find it wasn't his mother, it was Ebusa. Where is the honorable grandson? Why is he suffering from dehydration? Chaos countered. Why could he barely run a mile? What training has he been getting from you? Chaos pushed him out of the way for his mother to get inside. Konohamaru was laid out in the water that only covered half his body and given some cold water to drink. Keep your wrist under the water, Anko ordered. Your body is overheated. Your wrist will carry the cold to the rest of your body, cooling your core temperature. She eased the cup to his lips to let him drink. Slowly or you'll throw it up, she told him. It wasn't long before he began to shiver and sweat had started to form again. Chaos turned back to Ebusa. We'll handle his training. You almost killed him, Ebusa growled. He was never in danger. Moreover, look at him, he is going to be going to the academy soon. Why isn't he drinking water for the training he'll be doing? Ebusa didn't say anything. Ebusa, you're used to training those that know, not someone inexperienced. Leave it to us, we'll get him tip-top shape for when you can train him. Ebusa was quiet a moment longer. He has two friends, Moegi and Udon. I don't believe anyone is getting them ready for the academy as well. He turned and left. Chaos walked over to Konohamaru, who was responding normally again. Think that was tough? Yeah, he replied. Before we let you join the academy, you are going to be able to run 3 miles in 28 minutes or less, a minimum of 3 pull-ups, and minimum of 50 crunches in 2 minutes. I can't do that. Anko rubbed his hair. I know it seems a lot but I had to do that and Chaos had to do that. Now, you will too. And your friends, Moegi and Udon. You three are going to get strong now so when the time comes, all you'll have to do is maintain it. You mean, the reason you held me up without any effort is because of that? In part. Another part because I'm just strong. But you know what? That helped me Jack when it came to chakra. You have very little now, and no developed control. So, we'll also be working with you on that. And this will make me as strong as you and the old man. You think we don't train like this? Anko asked. Grant, I pushed Chaos harder than most parents, but he had far more to give. He looked at them a few minutes. If this is so important, why didn't Ebusa teach this? He was a Chunin instructor as well, Anko told him. A good one, but he always got students when they knew the basics. When he became a Jonin, he forgot that he had to also teach the basics now. Konohamaru shivered again, so Anko pulled him out and wrapped a towel around him. Alright, you two are my boss from now on, he cheered. You got to teach me everything you know. Well, pushy little brat, aren't you? He grinned. Fine, but only if you get your friends in on this as well. Ooh oh 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 ooh. He did. The next day, the people of Konoha saw 5 figures jogging down a street for the older ones, running for the 3 younger brats. All 5 of them wore the same thing, green shorts that went down to their knees, a green t-shirt tucked into their shorts, and running shoes, while Anko and Chaos wore what was called a camel pack, a pack with a tube that you could store water into your mouth with. Chaos was at the front, guiding it while Anko ran at the side, making sure none of the 3 kids fell out. When finally Anko called for a stop, the 3 thought they were done or on a break. So they groaned rather loudly when she had them do exercises. 30 crunches, 10 push-ups, and 10 jumping jacks. A quarter of a mile later, they repeated the process. They did it 6 times before finally stopping. When they went to fall down, Chaos said, "Don't. Keep walking and keep your head above your heart." He went inside and got a bottle of water for each. Giving them to them, he said, "Remember, hydration is key. Drink too little, you can't perform, drink too much right now." And all 3 of them started gagging and threw up the water they just drank. I think you know what happens now. Sip the water slowly. Looking downright miserable, they did as instructed. As they walked though, they felt their muscles loosen up again, their heart rate return to normal, and their bodies cool faster. I don't get it, Konohamaru muttered. Yesterday, I felt like crap after running. Anko chuckled. You also didn't drink enough to prepare yourself for it. Walking around allows your body to burn off the excess adrenaline, letting the heat escape, and keeps your body from tightening up. To suddenly cool you like we did can actually hurt you if done wrong. Konohamaru grinned and had to say it. Oh, nice, Anko is back. Not senior drill instructor Mitarashi. Do you want senior drill instructor back that bad? No, all 3 shouted. Chaos chuckled as well as his mother. Well, now that we have gotten our morning exercise, time for other things. Go change into your clothes and come back out here. While they did, Anko began getting tools of the trade while Chaos got some chakra exercise tools. When they returned, they got right into it. These, of course, are your basic ninja weapons. The kunai and the shuriken. Now, the shuriken is a light throwing weapon designed so that as long as it isn't flipping end over end, it will cut your target. The kunai, on the other hand, was only later designed for throwing. While still usable for that, it was crafted first and foremost as a easily hidden melee weapon. Each weapon has its own special needs for maintenance, needs we are going to begin to teach you now. Sit down in front of each kid on the ground. Now, what you see here are a rusty kunai, a dull shuriken, a whetstone, a wire brush, and a chemical called CLP. Cleaner lubricant preservative. Its purpose is to loosen dirt, grime, and rust from metal so it can work properly while also lubing joints and slides to move smoothly, and filling crevices to keep things like dirt from where it shouldn't be. Following. Yes, sir, they told her. Good. Now, you are going to get those weapons back to how they should be. I will show you while Mama will give you corrections and answer questions. He first picked up the whetstone, poured water on it, then began running it along the dull blade. The three of them mimic the motions. How will we know when we are done? Moegi asked. Look at the edge. It will shine brightly in the light, Anko told her. Another way, take a piece of wood and make a notch in it while dull and then do it again as you sharpen. Sharper it is, smooth the cut. Be careful not to cut yourselves, Anko told them. They continued doing this until they had them sharp again. Okay. Now take your spray bottle of CLP, spray some on the blade. Whatever you do, don't drink it. It'll give you the runs. Once you have a light coat, begin scrubbing away with the brush. They did, saying how cool this stuff was for doing that. Chaos chuckled. Wait until you do it till you can do it in your sleep. You three are going to do this every day, Anko told them, until I'm satisfied you know the proper way to care for your tools. Why? Udon asked. What about ninjutsus and such? What happens if you can't use chakra? Chaos asked. You are stuck fighting with just taijutsu and any weapon you have. If you know these, you will never be without a means to defend yourselves. He motioned to all the tools. Many think it's easy being a ninja, but it isn't. It's more than being paid to be physically fit. You have to know yourself, know your tools, and know the target. Konohamaru looked thoughtful. But aren't you the one that can't bleed? You have nothing to worry about. You're wrong, Chaos told him. I can bleed, my skin is tough, damn near indestructible. But only damn near. There is a Jonin here in Konoha that has cut me. He is your uncle, Kono. Uncle Asuma. That's right. Quite a shock to see my blood for the first time. Shocked him too. Anko laughed. Which was it that hurt him worst for that? Me or you? I think you did with the nut shot, screaming at him for effing almost killed my little baby. Effing? Moegi asked. Ah. Don't repeat that. He shook his head, rubbing his forearm where that cut had been. He would never deny his mama overreacted at times. Anyway, there are ways around that, and there are also a rare few times when I'm just as normal as you. No way, they said in disbelief. It's true, Anko said, hugging Chaos. My little baby is a blonde hair, blue-eyed runt. Mama, I'm not your little baby anymore, he protested. I'm a ninja of Konoha. Never, she told him. You'll always be my little baby. Mama, you're making me look bad in front of the brats. A mother's right, she told him. Don't you dare breath a word of this to anyone, he threatened them. He's right, we have a reputation to keep up, Anko told them. We're the insane ninja of Konoha. We'd be the laughing stock of the village if they knew. When Moegi Sudden started to smile all too innocently, Chaos said, and, while we're not willing to give you something to keep silent beyond what we are doing, do speak of it and there will be one less brat in the village. Because I will hunt you down before leaving in shame. The way he said it made him wonder. Was he joking or was her really telling the truth? Moegi decided not to try. For now. Grandma Kaharu says you two are delinquents, a disgrace to how shinobi should act, Udon told them. Chaos grinned, then just remind her of that trip to the land of the sky, that bag she smoked, and the rose tattoo she got. What we do off missions hardly reflect us on missions. Udon thought hard, Grandma doesn't have a tattoo. Anko grinned, not anywhere you've seen. But there are those that are interested in such information. She fought hard to keep from laughing, remembering when Chaos had come home one night, grinning like a madman when he told her he stole the private journals of Kaharu and Homura of the elders. Chaos had said yuck about the part that said that Udon very nearly came close to calling Homura Grandpa Homura. She found it sicking funny. They spent the whole night reading those. Her face straightened, it also revealed about the Uchiha's massacre. Moving on, your next exercise is going to be chakra exercises. First, who here can't control their chakra? Moegi raised her hand. We'll work with you on that. You too. Chaos handed them a leaf. Make it float on your forehead. They were about to put them there when Chaos held up a hand. Wait, let me show you three something. He held up a blank paper. A few moments later, he flipped it to the other side, showing the Konoha leaf on it. Did you see it? Konohamaru and Udon looked confused while Moegi thought about it hard. Oh, I know. We focused on the leaf. Anko smiled at them. Correct. On the blank paper, you just looked everywhere, but when you had something to focus on, you stayed in that small area. Your chakra will be exactly like that. So, she drew a small spiral on their foreheads. Chaos, baby, show them. Chaos pulled his headband off and showed them his palms. The same spiral was on all of them. These are artificial chakra control devices. They do nothing more than to help maintain where I send the chakra. I also have them on the bottom of my feet. Cool, Konohamaru stated. He pressed the leaf to his forehead and after a moment, his chakra focused right on that point. Udon followed suit while Moegi waited, excited to get her chakra. Now, this is going to be slow, Moegi, Anko told her. First, let's add a spiral to your hands. Now, sit down, hold your hands a few inches apart, and close your eyes. Look down deep inside. Forget the village around you, forget the air around you. It doesn't exist. Feel what's only in your mind. After a few minutes, Moegi began to breathe very slowly, even her heart had slowed. Now, feel the memories that are trying to crowd your mind. Gather them all up and throw them in a fire until the fire burns out of control, leaving nothing there anymore. Nothing, a void. The two boys watched as she seemed to fall into a deep meditation. But you aren't alone in that void, are you? You feel something, just out of sight, just out of reach. It flows inside you like a river, moving about wildly, uncontrollably. But it's there, waiting. You see it now, spreading as far as you can see. Now, jump in. Focus on your hands. Konohamaru and Udon stared in amazement as her hands started to glow with chakra. It grew brighter and brighter until it suddenly fizzed out. Moegi started to fall forward to be caught by Anko. Excellent, Anko told her. Perfectly done. I felt so alive, Moegi breathed out. Like there was nothing I couldn't do. She had this smile on her face that Anko had only seen matched by her son on a very good day. I want to do it again. You can't, you burned through all your chakra for now. But now that you know how, it's going to be easier and easier to draw out. Moegi took a deep breath. Does it always feel like that? No. For me, it feels like walking a blade's edge. There is a thrill in doing it, but one wrong move and I fall off the edge. For me, my first time was like the first time I had. I fought. There was excitement but also pain. That I could lose myself either way. Moegi rubbed her arms. I never want that feeling to go away. Wait, why isn't it like that for us? Konohamaru asked. It's how you draw it out, Anko told him. Quote. My sensei taught me how like his before him. You were taught by Ebusa, not your grandfather, so you see it a tool to control. Is it any better? Udon asked. Yes, and no. It's different, not better, not worst. It does help you connect with your body though. She looked at the still breathless little girl. What do you feel? Like every nerve is tingling. I could feel my blood moving through my veins. My heart as it beat. It was incredible. Chaos nodded and looked to his mother. Mama, I need to go do something. I trust you can handle 3 brats by your lonesome. Sure. Go ahead. Chaos headed inside as she began barking orders to the 3. Chaos showered, changed into his clothes, and ran off. He smiled when he saw her. Komachi-chan. The woman saw him and sighed, smiling. Hello, Chaos-kun. How are you today? I'm good. Been training these 3 brats, whipping them into shape. Komachi laughed, remembering when she helped Anko do the same to Chaos. So, ready. Chaos grinned as well and held out his arm. Where would you like to eat for lunch? Ramen, she told him, losing her smile. Ramen it is then. Chaos led the way, smiling at her the whole time. Ordering 2 bowls, the two sat down to eat. Anything new going on? Not really. She sighed. Time to get it out. Chaos, you know I turn 18 next month. Yes, he replied, confused. And you're only 12 now. I know. She sighed. Chaos, what I'm doing. Most people would accuse me of looking for jailbait. So? Chaos asked, still confused. I don't care what other people think. Kamachi interrupted him. What you feel is gratitude for me saving you. And it's time we both accept that. I can't date you on that, Chaos. He looked down and pushed his ramen away. So that's it. We're over. Yes, she told him, looking down as well. I can still be your friend, Chaos. Just not your girlfriend. Chaos gave a mirthless chuckle. Mama told me women still want to be friends after they rip out your heart. He dropped money for the meal on the table and left. Kamachi's commander stepped up to her and put a hand on her shoulder. It had to be done, he told her. Still doesn't stop it from hurting. God help the next person to fight him. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Chaos walked down the road, a scowl marring his face. He froze though when somebody said something they really shouldn't have. Hey, look guys, it's the son of that snake whore. I bet his father was that traitor, another said, making Chaos clench his fist until even his blackened knuckles turned white. Maybe we should make this bastard and his bitch mother go back to him, the third said. Chaos took a deep breath, trying to keep his temper. Hell, can't get over how hot his mother is, maybe have some fun with her first. Bet the whore's a screamer. Being calm, Chaos faced them and gave off a grin that held no warmth. That looked frighteningly like it belonged to Orochimaru. His hand grabbed the hilt of the death penalty and pulled it from its sheath. Now, you die. He jumped forward and in a flash, an Anbu had intercepted him. The death penalty had cut halfway through the Anbu's sword and was still slowly working its way through. Genin Chaos, cease this or you will face jail time. Chaos eased up pressure on his sword before pulling it from the other. He snorted before glaring death at the three cowering men. Even think about raping my mother again and they won't even be able to identify the remains by the blood. He stepped back, glared at the Anbu, and began walking away. She followed. Making sure I don't kill someone, Kamachi-cha, Gomen, Tora-san. Yes, she told him straight up. Get lost. Don't take your anger out on me, Chaos. He rounded on her, growling. Then who should I? You think it was just admiration? Question mark. I love you and you know it. Ragh. He spread his wings, crouched, and jumped into the air. Roaring in anger, he flew from Konoha deep into the surrounding forest. He dropped down into a clearing and went about destroying anything that he could. He punched boulders far after he felt like he shattered the bones of his hands. He roared until his throat was hoarse. Still he couldn't get the anger to leave him. Ripping off his shirt, he glared at the gem embedded in his chest. Right now, he wished he was the beast as he named it. If he was, he wouldn't feel this hurt, this betrayed, this angry. He wouldn't feel anything, so he ripped it out. He dropped it on the ground, feeling part of himself slip away. He couldn't leave it, even the few times he had been without it eventually led back to it. So for now, he let the beast take over. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Chaos came back to himself curled into a ball around the protogem. He felt so tired he could barely move. Looking around, he saw he destroyed a good portion of the forest and the torn remains of half a herd of elk. He looked up at the sky and saw the stars, looking to be around 10:30. Returning the protogem back to its place, he started walking home. No doubt, Mama was worried. Cammy help him if it took more than a few hours to work it all out. He walked up to the closed gates and jumped up on them. Evening guy, he said to the guards. Holy shit, Chaos, one of the Chunin said, looking at him. You're covered in blood. Where the hell have you been the last 3 days? Chaos dropped his head. Mama was going to be pissed once she got over her worry. I had something to work off and passed out doing it. When woke up finding a tiger getting ready to eat me. You can see how well that went for it. They looked at him, glancing at his scratched up hands. He was grateful they were black, Otherwise, they'd be black and blue, probably swollen as well. They ached so bad now. Your mother is going to skin you alive. I know, Chaos told them. So, what have you heard about me threatening 3 civilians? One scoffed. Total bullshit. No way would you draw your sword and jump to kill them. Actually, I did. Both men stared at him. Are you insane? One finally yelled. What possessed you to do that? Quote. They said they should rape my mother and drive the both of us to Orochimaru. I was mad to begin with and had enough of the way people treat the both of us. So, your brilliant reaction to them was to act the monster they think you are, one asked bitterly. What makes you think I'm not? Chaos dropped down and walked away. He knew a messenger would be sent to the old man and he would be expected to report into him, but he found he didn't care right now. He headed home. Opening the door, he called, Mama, I'm home. Oh, thank God. She rushed to the door to hold him and nearly screamed when she saw the state he was in. She hugged him to her, uncaring about the blood, and said, What happened? Wincing as she touched his hands, he said, I got angry, Mama. I nearly killed 3 civilians for things they were saying about us. The only reason I didn't is because Kamachi blocked me. I flew off so I wouldn't be a danger to anyone else and just worked off my anger. I even let the beast out. Anko didn't hesitate in slapping him. It probably hurt her more than him, but it was the meaning behind it that meant anything, not the pain. Chaos lowered his head, eyes welling up that he made his mother that mad. Do you even realize what you did to me? Though you ran away. I was worried sick that Orochimaru had gotten a hold of you again. And then there was Anbu, was the military police coming here to arrest you for attempted murder. How could you do this to me? I'm sorry, Mama. He hadn't lifted his head yet. Anko stepped back and ran her hands over her own tear-stained face. I can't deal with this, Chaos. Just go shower and go to your room. When the MPs arrive, I'll call you down. Now go. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Chaos let the water fall on him as he leaned against the wall the shower head was attached to. He knew he messed up, story of his life, but never once did he make his mama hurt, much less like this. Getting out, he stood in front of the mirror and looked at himself. Grabbing some tin shears, he was about to cut his hair down some more when he stopped and looked at his face. He was a monster like they called him. He set the snips back under the sink and leaned against the wall. His ears twitched, he could hear Anko crying in her room. She put up with so much shit from him. Anko? Kurenai asked her, walking inside. I heard Chaos came back. He's in his room. Words going around, he really attacked those men. I know, he told me. He heard Kurenai crouch next to his mama. Hey, it'll be okay. I'm sure he had his reasons. Quote. He let it out, Kurenai, Anko whispered. He let it out and he was covered in blood. And there wasn't a sign of sadness or regret on his face. He wouldn't have felt a thing had he killed them. Kurenai was shocked into silence, and that was all Chaos needed to hear. He looked at the mirror again, seeing that he was crying now. His mama deserved better than him, far better than she got, and she never once complained. It couldn't have been easy raising him with him growing up unable to control his strength, him barely able to hug her without hurting her even. He went to his room, dressed in clean clothes, and waited. When he heard them coming, he headed downstairs. I'm going now, Mama. Chaos, what are you doing down here? She heard a knock on the door and Chaos opened it before holding up his hands. I'm ready. A moment later, chakra-draining shackles was placed on him and he walked out. Anko ran out, shouting. No, I won't let you take him. Chaos stopped and smiled at her. Thank you, Mama, for everything. Goodbye. He began walking away without being told to. The finality to it made her begin to cry. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Hokage-sama, Chaos said when he entered. Chaos. Sarutobi looked at him. I don't think I need to say how much trouble you're in. Unauthorized absence, attempted murder. I know, sir. Why did you do it, son? Why throw everything away? I couldn't control my anger, sir. No other reason. So because you were mad, you decided to kill 3 men. Yes, sir. I'm sure it's all in the report filed by Tora-san. She is the one who stopped me. When will my trial be? Sarutobi sighed. He wished Chaos wasn't so damn accepting for this, that he would fight back. Tomorrow in front of the council. Since you're showing a willingness to do this, I'll allow you to go home for the night. No. Anyone else that did what I did would spend the night in jail to stand trial. Sarutobi stared at him. You want to go to jail? Yes. Now Sarutobi knew it. Something was wrong with him. If you insist, take him to a cell. Chaos was escorted from the room, never once needing to be told. Chakra restraints were applied and he was taken to a cell. As he was walking down the hall to his cell, several people decided to call out to him. Either to make fun of him or taunt him for the long night he was going to have. He was put in a cell with 3 others, all of which were watching him. The guards left after a moment and one sat forward, a grin on his face. Look what we have locked in here with us. Chaos grinned after a moment. Wrong. Before we're done with this dance, you're going to see you're locked in here with me. Not the other way around. 5 seconds later, they went for him. 10 seconds later, the guards came running back because of their screams of pain. They found Chaos throwing one guy on the floor and laying down on a cot. What? My arm, one inmate groaned. Be glad I didn't rip it off. You might want to get these men to a hospital. I broke his ribs, threw him into the wall head first, and broke his arm. At their hesitation, he said, Oh, don't worry, if I was going to try something, I would have before we got here. He stood against the wall, hands held up. They dragged the 3 out and locked the cell again. When they left, Chaos went to the bars. Did you hear that? I'm not locked in here with you. You're all locked in here with me. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Genin Mitarashi Chaos, Sarutobi said, looking at him. You are charged with 3 cases of assault, 3 cases of attempted murder, and UA. The council and myself want an explanation of these crimes. Chaos stood before the Hokage, Homura, Kohaku, Danzu, and the heads of the ninja clans. I'm afraid I'm not sure to which you refer to concerning the assault charges. Last night, in your cell. Ah, those. Easy enough. I was escorted to my cell and placed inside with 3 others. I think one called me jailbait before they rushed me. I honestly don't know why. I don't think I have much appeal. They attacked you first, Aburame Shibi asked. Yes, sir. Then those charges are dropped, Sarutobi stated. What about your announcement? You're locked in here with me. Making it clear that I wasn't going to be anyone's bitch, sir. Understandable, Inoichi stated. Now, on to the other charges. Why did you attack those 3 civilians? Homura asked. The full story is my girlfriend had just broken up with me, giving me a bullshit reason and I was mad. The 3 in question had decided to take it upon themselves to attack the loyalty of my mother and myself. Even going so far as to suggest raping my mother before returning both of us to missing ninja Orochimaru when I tried to ignore them. When I went in to kill them with my sword, I was intercepted by Nu Anbutora, my ex. Walking away, she followed me to make sure I don't kill someone. I didn't want her to. Words were exchanged, I shouted, and flew off. Inside the forest north by northwest by 8 miles, I landed and proceeded to destroy the terrain. When even that didn't relieve my anger, I released a sealed part of my mind, losing control until last night around 10:30. And the blood you were reported to be covered in? Kohaku asked. Apparently, during the time I was berserk, I came across a herd of elk. When I came to, most were torn apart around me. What is the chance of this happening inside Konoha? Choza asked him. There is no chance, not by accident, Chaos informed them. Myself, or someone else, has to force the change on me. Do you think you will ever get mad enough to release it yourself inside the village? Danzo asked. Chaos was quiet a moment as he considered it. There are many here that I would think deserving of coming across me when I'm the beast, as I call it. But just as many do not, sir. No, I wouldn't. Mostly because I would hurt my mother if she got in my way as well as anyone else. How does this change happen? Hiyashi asked. That knowledge was secured by the Hokage along with my past. They all looked at him. Sarutobi sighed and said, the only way this has a chance of happening is if someone knows about it and does what is needed. Something nearly impossible as it calls for getting within chaos, strike range, under his clothes. Which means any woman he may one day take as his wife, Shikaku stated. Yes, I'm aware of that. The truth is, I don't think we'll have to worry about that. That's one way to call me so ugly that I can't have, Chaos thought. We will send a ninja to investigate the clearing you mentioned, Chaos. Afterwards we will decide your guilt or innocence, Sarutobi told him. He nodded and Chaos was taken from the room. Before I do, Hokage-sama, keep in mind something. Itachi was ordered. Chaos turned and walked out the room, making Danzo raise his eyebrow while Sarutobi, Homura, and Kohaku go pale. What was that? Shikaku asked. A reminder that we can't banish him, Sarutobi told them. He means he knows the skeletons in our closest. So all punishments has to be carried out here, Choza stated. What else aren't you telling us about him, Hokage-sama? Sarutobi was quiet for several moments. Chaos was named after the program he was experimented in. That is why he looks like he does. He was kidnapped, his past erased, and changed into this by Orochimaru. Evidence points to that he was from Konoha, but with everything about him destroyed by Orochimaru when we got him, we can't be sure. So he could be a spy? Danzo asked. No. While at the base that Chaos was found in, Orochimaru was revealed and he attacked them. Chaos tried to kill him, coming closer than I had myself before he ran to survive. How old was he? Shibi asked. We believe Chaos was just 8 at that time. Everyone was quiet, before Inoichi said, well, he's right. He won't be anyone's bitch. What are the consequences of sending him to jail? Are there any? Not from him, Shibi stated. He fully expects to go and accepts it. It's what happens afterwards and from others that give me pause. Chaos will not let others order him around, not like how they'll try to in the prison. Not the guards, his actions last night shows he doesn't mind them. The prisoners on the other hand will be slaughtered. Then there is Special John and Anko. She is having a hard time accepting this, is she not? She is, Sarutobi confirmed. She is very distraught by this and I believe she didn't sleep last night. Someone this morning accused her of raising a murdering monster and Anbu restrained her before she could do anything. She was screaming she would kill him for it. So the fate of 2 ninja is tied to him, Hiyashi muttered. Quote. I believe that this is just a case of aggravated assault and UA. As such, attempted murder charges should be dropped and he be fined as per usual punishment of UA. I second that, Shibi told them. Then I call it to a vote, Sarutobi called. All those that find Mitarashi Chaos guilty. Homura and Shikaku raised their hands. All those that find him innocent. Everyone else raised theirs. The attempted murder charges are dropped and he will be fined. I thank you all for your time. Ooh. Chaos was waiting to go back to his cell. He didn't doubt they would find him guilty, he admitted doing it. So when his mother and Komachi entered, he was surprised. Mama, what are you doing here? She hugged him. The old man found you not guilty for the most part, she told him. Why did you let me think that? I thought you killed someone. I tried to, Mama. That I failed doesn't make the act any less evil. He glanced at Komachi a moment before turning back. I'm really sorry for worrying you, Mama. Don't be mad, please. She wiped her eyes. I'm not mad, baby. I love you and I don't think I ever could be mad at you. Komachi smiled at him. Chaos-kun, there's nothing to say, Komachi. Not between us. She looked hurt. So that's it. You don't even want to be friends. Quote. I will never see you as anything else than someone I love. You will never see me more than just a friend. So it's better to just not see each other. She was quiet for a minute until nodded sadly. She turned and left. He watched her go before pulling himself into Anko more. Why did she leave me, Mama? Is it because I'm so much younger? Did I do something? Or is it how I look? Even the old man doesn't think I'll ever find someone. Anko shushed him and rubbed his back. You will, baby. Someone that will see you for you, just wait. But why couldn't that be Komachi-chan? I love her, Mama. I don't think I'll ever stop. I know it hurts, baby, and I know it feels like someone drove a knife in your heart. All I can say is that one day, it won't hurt, it's fast and it's rare. She knew Komachi was hurt by this as well, but she had no sympathy for her. If she could hurt her baby, then let her hurt. Outside, Komachi leaned against a wall, crying. She knew she would hurt over this and that Chaos likely wouldn't understand. Wiping them away, she pulled her mask from her belt, and put it on. She was Anbu now, she couldn't be weak. She couldn't have a past. She couldn't have a love. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Sarutobi smiled at Chaos. Now, this is all forgotten, Chaos. A note in your record will say you were Ua on the beginning of your career, but beyond that, you won't have any repercussions. I'd rather just get on with it, old man. I understand, truly I do. This is your team for now. Come on in. Maeda-Jia, Tenten, and Neji walked in. Good morning, Hokage-sama. Is this the boy who will replace my student Lee while he is recovering? He is, Guy. Chaos, I am having you be a temporary teammate. Meaning whenever someone gets hurt, or a team needs someone immediately, you will be that person. Hi, Hokage-sama. He looked at the three and bowed. I'm Mitarashi Chaos, it's a pleasure working with you. Guy smiled. Yosh, he seems most youthful, Hokage-sama. Chaos stared at him. Oh, you're the crazy youth shouting, muscle freak, Mama told me about. Team Jia gaped at him before Tenten's shoulders started to shake. She began to laugh after a moment. Even Neji smirked. Guy blinked, surprised that Anko of all people would call anyone crazy. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Alright, let's begin by sparring to see how well you do, Guy said when they got to Team Guy's training grounds. Neji, you first. Neji stepped into the sparring circle. Let's see what fate has in store. Chaos walked in as well. Does it look like I believe in fate? He entered the stance for the serpent style. Neji, don't underestimate him, Guy warned. He just nodded arrogantly and charged forward. Chaos rolled his eyes before he began his arms spinning. Chaos weaved through Neji's offense, spun him around with his arms locked in chaos, and put his boot to his back and pushed. While trying not to yell, Neji did his best to free himself. Yield. Quote. That's enough, Guy said, disappointed. Neji, I told you not to underestimate him. Chaos let him go and stepped back. He knew the type Neji was, never accepting defeat willingly. He was going to have to beat it into him. Neji jumped to his feet, this time showing why he was the rookie of the year. He took full measure of Chaos this time. Chaos stood perfectly balanced in his stance. He also was stronger than he looked. And being he looked pretty muscled for a 12-year-old, that was a very bad thing for him. He also had claws, not fingers, meaning it would be very bad if he caught him. All this meant that he had to get in and out faster than he could attack. If he did, he would lose again. Speed was the weapon of choice. He decided not to mess around and activated his Byakugan. You are in my range of divination. 64 palms. Faster than most genin could react, he shot forward and attacked. Chaos knew he wouldn't be able to get out of the way in time, so he blocked it. Neji was moving on muscle memory, so he didn't notice when Chaos moved his wing in the way at first. When he did though, he jumped back, scowling. Chaos flexed his wing, scowling at the slightly numb appendage. It extended to his full 8 feet in length before folding back up. My turn. He shot forward, swinging his strikes. Neji jumped back, trying to avoid them the best he could. Too bad Chaos was faster than he thought. The first punch hit his stomach, bending him at the waist. The next was a knee to his face, throwing him back up. The last was him catching his left arm, holding it wide, while his other hand hit the nerve cluster close to the armpit, causing temporary paralysis. Neji dropped to the ground, coughing and shaking. Neji, Tenten shouted, rushing over to him. I'm all right, he wheezed, I'm all right. I underestimated him still. He looked up at the metal-gloved hand held out to help him up. I don't believe in fate, but I do believe in second chances. You took me serious, I took you serious. Now, let's get you up and moving so you can get some feeling again. Neji took his hand and he pulled him up like he was weightless. Walk it off, it'll help. Neji tried and just started coughing again. Anyone ever tell you, you hit like a boulder? Chaos gave him a smirk and a pat on the shoulder. My mother when I finally caught her. She fell just like you. Only for longer because I didn't hold back, didn't know how. Neji went pale. You were holding back. Oh yes. I would have killed you otherwise. Tenten looked between them. Just how are you like this? Chaos looked down at his fist for a moment. My mother was once the only student to one of the legendary Sannin. He taught her many things, things she taught me. Then Orochimaru experimented on her. They looked at him, shocked, and they put it together. You are the result of those experiments. Chaos. Wings flexed unconsciously as he remembered the tube, the yellow eyes of his kidnapper. Yes, I am. Nor am I the only. My mother remembers a child experiment on similarly like I am. He looked them in the eyes. So much for fate, right? I know what I should have looked like. And I know what I do look like. So, I can either believe I was fated for this. Or I can say fate and live my life how I want. Neji considered that. It seems we are both affected by the actions of others before we could understand them. I still believe there is a hand beyond ourselves in this. Chaos smirked. That is why Kami gave us free will, to decide for ourselves. Coincidence is a bitch. He held his hand out and Neji grasped it. They may have had a difference of opinion but they came to an understanding. Well, if nothing else, at least it took skills from a Sannin to beat me. Chaos threw his head back and laughed. Why, shit, aren't you? Chaos knocked the man from his feet. So, you going to stay down and come with me or are we going to have a problem? Chaos watched him stand back up to his full height of near 7 feet, glaring down at Chaos 410. We have a big problem. You do, Gonza, a man wanted for murder with a bounty of around 100,000 Ryu. Chaos wasn't doing this for a mission though. He was doing it for fun. Gonza pulled his fist back and belted Chaos on the chin, knocking him from his feet. Chaos shook his head to clear it while Gonza held his aching fist. Have it your way, Tinker Bell. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Though, I would much prefer alive. He jumped back to his feet and gut-checked Gonza, tackling him through the shoddy wall. Out in the street, Chaos punched him in the jaw in return, breaking the bone. They rolled around in it, kicking and gouging in the mud, the blood, and the beer. Chaos fought tougher men, but he really couldn't remember when. He kicked like a mule and bit like a crocodile. Though he had several jutsu that would have helped, he didn't want to think about work so he left them behind as well. Finally rolling to the side while Gonza got back to his feet only for Chaos to kick him in the crotch, making him freeze. He groaned once and again when Chaos gave another. He fell over and Chaos got back up. Now, wouldn't it have been better to just come with me? Predictably, Gonza only groaned. Of course you agree with me. He moved around him, stepping on his hand as he did, making him yell. Why yes, I won't hurt you anymore. He gave him a kick to his face when he reached for a knife. Provided that you don't do anything else stupid. Looking around at the people that looked at them and just shrugged, he figured they saw this thing often. So, Mr. Gonza, how about we go see a friend of mine? Mr. Bounty Collector. He pulled him to his feet and slapped some handcuffs on him behind his back and leg irons on his ankles. They too tight. Not waiting for an answer, he threw him over his shoulder, spread his wings, and got ready to fly off. Now people stared. Oh sure, not the fight, the wings get their attention. With Gonza struggling like he was, Chaos nearly dropped him a few times. He stopped struggling when Chaos flew up a few hundred feet and did drop him. He caught him again before he hit the ground, but he got the point. 15 minutes later, Chaos walked out of a building with a suitcase full of Ryu. Mama would want me to have fun with this. Probably with her, but hey, Mama isn't here. He began walking, thinking about the nearest place that would be more than happy for his money. A casino or maybe a bar. Actually, a brewery sounded good. This was the land of rice, main export being some rather fine sake, Habu sake to be exact. He ate his lips, remembering that rather fine liquor. Mama would definitely like some of that. Reaching the nearest town, he asked around and was pointed to one that was supposed to be one of the best in rice. A roll of bills later, he had a small scroll with 10 of their finest bottles and another with a single on for the old man. Outside, he summoned a snake and scratched her head. Hello Nebi-chan. Chaos, the snake cooed. What can I do for you, SSS sweetie? Flirt later, dear. Would you be willing to take this scroll to Mama? Nebi took the scroll, swallowed it, and said, for dinner, I'd gladly do it. Chaos chuckled. This was one of their ongoing jokes. Kissing the snake on the head, he said, next time then. She vanished in a flash of smoke and Chaos began walking around, just exploring. He had the day off, so he intended to use it to his best interest. It was while he was walking that he heard it. A flute being played. Feeling curious, he decided to follow it, which led him to a redhead, sitting on a stump, wearing some odd clothes with a silk rope tied in a bow over her butt, and a headband with a music note on it. It was a rather haunting tune in his opinion, sad and mournful. It reflected her face. Her eyes were closed, so she hadn't noticed him yet. He leaned against a tree and just listened while she played her heart out. Finally, he decided to make himself known. He pulled a violin from a seal on his arm and began to play along. The flutist jumped to her feet, spinning around to face him, her flute still to her lips. After playing a few more notes, he pulled it from his chin. Good morning, miss. Tell me, why does such a sad song come from such a lovely young woman? You, who the hell are you, what the are you, and why are you here? Chaos widened his eyes at her language but was never one to back down from a challenge. Well, bitch, I am Mitarashi Chaos, I'm what you see before you. Are you blind or just stupid? And why am I here? I go wherever I damn well please, and my please decided to find where that music was coming from. She blinked a few times, surprised with his answer. Well, a bastard with the balls to bite the back. Thanks, whore. She lowered her flute and smirked. Quote. Bastard son of the boogie man. Chaos hit his fist over his heart. That hurts, really. Did you talk to your mother with that mouth, or did you bite her damn head off with it? I bit it off. You, Chaos laughed at that, she was a character. Well, are you going to tell me your damn name, or am I just going to nickname you bitch? Well, I'm Tayuya. Gay. Balls, emo. Phew, you are harsh. I'd tell you to my monster, but I think it might just melt off afterwards. As if you have a. He really wasn't one to back down from a challenge. He unbuttoned his pants and showed it to her. Say that now. Cammy. Yeah, that's what I thought, he said, pulling up his pants with a grin. Enough of the foreplay before it causes that snake to come alive. I was hoping to listen to more if you would be willing. My face is up here. Tayuya dragged her eyes from his crotch, still shocked, speechless. Quote. Yeah, I guess. Just don't interrupt with that shitty instrument of yours. She pursed her lips and began to play again, this tune sounding a bit happy. After a while, she stopped again. What village is that? I don't recognize it. Odo, it's a new village here in Rice. Chaos thought about that. He definitely wouldn't mind visiting if he could meet more women not put off by his looks. Mind if I visit? I won't cause trouble. Like you could if you tried. Chaos gave her a shit-eating grin. Remember last time you doubted something about me? He laughed at getting her to blush a little. Shut the up and follow me, Tayuya growled. Still grinning, he picked his suitcase back up and followed. She led him to a small ninja village 20 minutes away. Tayuya, +1, coming in, she told the guard. He made a note and looked at Chaos. What the? Finish that sentence and die, Chaos told him, not really up for questions. Mitarashi Chaos, ninja of the hidden leaf. He held out his identification. The man widened his eyes and took it before glancing at Tayuya. I didn't know. Is that a problem? The guard hesitated. No problem. I'll just have to tell the Otokage we have a visitor from another village. Reason for the visit. In the area and I met Tayuya. Wonderful person to give a first impression of the village. Does everyone have a mouth that can strip paint, skin an ox, eat iron and spit out nails? The guard snorted only to get hit upside the head by said woman. Shut the up. And you, she growled, rounding on Chaos. Keep talking and I'll turn this mouth back on you. Chaos smirked again. She really shouldn't have opened herself. Really? How so? With a blow job. Indignation covered her face before she punched him as hard as she could in the gut. Nothing compared to his mama, but it had some force to it, making him grunt. You son of a bitch, don't you dare say something like that again. Don't leave yourself open like that again. He looked to the guard, who was still chuckling. You going to tell the Otokage? His shoulders were still shaking. Sure thing. He shook his head. Too bad he's going to die here. He has spirit. He called a man to take his place. You'll be watched by our Anbu while inside. Of course. I'll follow Tayuya for now. She moved inside and so did he. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Sir, the guard said, bowing to the Otokage. A ninja from the hidden leaf has wandered into our territory and village. Why was he just not killed? He growled. He appears to have a Kekkei Genkei, the guard told him, head still bowed. Just not one I know of. Name, Mitarashi Chaos. The Otokage got a shocked look on his face. What was that name again? Mitarashi, sir. The man leaned back in his chair, very surprised. Mitarashi. He began to chuckle. Anko has a son now. But that name, Chaos. I wonder. Does he look like a monster? Yes, sir. He leaned forward into the light, revealing himself as Orochimaru. Well, cuckoo. It seems that Kami has a twisted sense of humor. Shall I give the order to kill him, sir? Orochimaru smirked. Heavens no. Has he shown an interest in the village? No more beyond visiting a new village. But then he was met by Tayuya. He scowled. I'll have to punish her for that. No sir. She isn't driving him off. Far from it, the two seem to get along fine. Orochimaru blinked at that statement. Tayuya is getting along fine with another human. As odd as it may seem, sir, she is. He takes her insults and freely returns his own. They both seem to enjoy it, really. Orochimaru leaned back into his chair, beginning to laugh again. The chances of this happening. Let him leave but after I speak to him. Bring me my cage robes and hat. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Chaos looked around, smiling a little. Quaint little village. Not at all what I expected from somewhere producing you. Tayuya scowled at him again. And I hardly expected a rat bastard like you to come from the damn leaf. You flatter me, he told her before smirking, precious. She rounded on him, unholy fury appearing around her. He really got to her on that one. She gave him a right hook to the jaw, a left to the gut, and a knee to the face. All the while, Chaos laughed uncontrollably. Tayuya, an emotionless voice said behind them. She turned around, fury still written on her face. What? Kimimaro. You can't kill him, the Otokage himself wishes to speak with him. Tayuya gaped at him. He wants to speak with him. Yes. After you show him around some, of course. Apparently, he's surprised that anyone can get along with you. I don't see that from this interaction. Chaos straightened, still smiling. Oh, she's nothing compared to Mama. I can't be cut and I still fear her. Kimimaro looked on him. Interesting. Who is your mother? Snake Mistress Mitarashi Anko. Whoa, hold it, Tayuya stopped them. You mean to tell me, you are the son of the Anko? Oh, so that's what it takes make you speak without cursing. She swallowed and looked him over again. And the Otokage wants me to show him around. Yes. He is hoping that Chaos will enjoy his stay and extend the Otokage's greetings and wish to speak to the Hokage. Tayuya understood now. He wants to get closer to Sarutobi and he wants to do it through Chaos. Yes, Kimimaro, she said, bowing. Chaos glanced at between the two. Wow, you really demand respect to get it from her. Kagaya. He nodded. Your mother has taught you well. He smiled brazenly. She is the best. Kimimaro looked him up and down. So I've been told. I would very much like to test the strength she passed onto you one day. It will take more than even your bones to do the job, but I look forward to testing your strength one day as well. He looked back to Tayuya. Where were we before you decided to beat the shit out of me? Oh yeah, I just called you precious. Tayuya's fist shook with rage while Kimimaro arched an eyebrow. You are one strange person, Mitarashi-san, to tempt her wrath on purpose. Still, considering who your mother is, I understand it can't be bad. She took a deep breath. This way, Mitarashi-san. Chaos looked at her and frowned. That won't do. He moved up close to her and grabbed her butt. Smack. His cheek turned purple in the shape of a handprint. Of all the god-forsaken, mother, damn that I could have shown around, I had to get this kissing. Grabbing, prick, she shouted, storming off. Chaos ed a trail of blood from a cut on his lip from his fangs. Precious, wait up for me. He ran after her, causing her to spout off another string of curses. Kimimaro watched them go, very interesting. Ooh oh 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 ooh. I swear to Kami, if I wasn't ordered to, I would kill you. Just for the smirk he held, she felt like doing it still. You could try, precious, you could try. She rounded on him, stabbing at his chest with her finger, about to start shouting when he grabbed her offending arm, pulled her close, wrapped an arm around her waist, and kissed her. Smack. Don't you ever kiss. Smack. I said, kiss. Smack. Stop. Kiss. Please. Kiss. Quote. Don't stop. Chaos pulled her body against his. As you wish. He held the back of her head gently as he kissed her again, and this time, he didn't stop. He didn't know what possessed him to do that, but her lips felt so soft against his, her body so warm, he didn't care either. Around them people were gaping at him for doing that to her or making cat calls. His eyes closed as he felt her lips move against his. His other hand moved down and held her butt, making her catch her breath. Her hand came up to slap him again but only pulled him closer. Where is Tay? This fat ninja with orange hair said, walking into the square. Chaos and Tayuya stood in the middle of, and froze when he saw them. Watch it, Jirobo, this six-armed ninja said, bumping into him. Why did you? Whoa. What? Oh, this two-headed ninja said. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Tayuya, the masked Otokage said, looking at the slightly blushing teen, when I said show him around, I hadn't meant for you to make out with him in the middle of the street. I wasn't a willing participant, sir, she told him. Felt that way to me, Chaos said next to her. Why would I want to do that with a like you? She growled, trying to salvage her dignity and image. Why? Because I excite you, I could feel it in your kiss. You've never met anyone that wasn't put off by your brash manners. Hell, they excite me. You're delusive. Chaos pulled her into another kiss and she fought it for a moment only. When he pulled away, he said, what was that about being delusional? She muttered. Ahem, the Otokage said, drawing their attention back to him, making him remember he was there again. Tayuya looked ashamed while Chaos only smirked. If you're done. I think I could go a few more minutes if you're willing to wait, Otokage-sama. Tayuya got a look of fear on her face while the Otokage stared at him. Then astonishment when he began to laugh. I expect nothing less from the son of Mitarashi Anko. A shameless wretch that will face down any opponent. Chaos bowed to him. But of course. Could I do no less? I honestly think not. What brings you to my village, Chaos-kun? Chaos held up his briefcase. Bounty hunting close by. He opened it, showing off the money. Tayuya looked at all the Ryu and reached a hand out to touch it only for Chaos to slap it back. For recreation. He laughed again, only a Mitarashi. So, bounty hunting led you to Tayuya and Tayuya to Oto. And Oto to making out with Tayuya, Chaos finished. She dropped her head into her hand. Now that we have covered how I got here, how about why I'm here? Very well, a new village is often seen weak. But an alliance with one of the great five changes that so very much. And what a coincidence that I, being a ninja of one of the great five, be here now. A coincidence, the Otokage muttered. Chaos nodded. So, I suppose you have a scroll for the Hokage. Yes. He revealed one from his robes and held it out. How soon can you get it to him? Konoha is 5-day run from here, so 15 minutes. The Otokage looked confused. How? He honestly didn't know. Chaos spread his wings a little. Most ninja are land-bound. I am not. The Otokage stared in wonder at the boy across from him, not expecting those to actually give flight. Amazing. Simply amazing. I don't think so, Chaos replied. He loved to fly, but he would rather be without if given the choice. Anything else, Otokage-sama? No, you may leave at any time. Hi, Chaos said before turning to Tayuya. I will see you later, precious. He leaned in and gave her a kiss on her cheek. Gotta fly. Chaos turned and left. When he was gone, Tayuya turned to the Otokage. Orochimaru-sama, is he to be killed with Konoha? No, I have much invested in him. How to turn him to my cause though? He looked pointedly at her. Actually, I might have an idea. You want me to turn him to Oto? Yes. Shouldn't be too hard, it's obvious he's sensitive about his form. And sensitive is something Konoha will never be. Especially if you should offer him something he wishes. His past. He doesn't remember. No, the process I used to change him into that erased his memory. Tayuya looked confused. Then how didn't you know about his flight if you did it? Orochimaru sighed, but in pride. He has moved far beyond even what I pictured. That child in the land of sea is nothing compared to him. Perfection. Kukuku, and he has chosen you as the one he wants. Kami really does have a twisted sense of humor. Tayuya, you and the Sound Five will be the ones to work with him, be my messengers. Befriend him, get close to him. Leave for Konoha now. She looked confused. They were supposed to receive the next stage of their curse seal soon, but if he orders now, he means now. Right away, Orochimaru-sama. She too turned and left. Orochimaru thought about it a moment. Speaking of that girl, I might be able to use her in a machi. Ooh oh 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 ooh. Chaos walked through Oto humming a tune called, The Nightmare Beginning. He was almost to the gate when he heard, Hey, leaf freak. Chaos turned around, growling fiendishly only to blink at a boy with 6 arms. Finally. I've been trying to get your attention for the last 2 minutes. Who are you? I'm Kidumaru. This Sakin and Ukin, he motioned to a boy with 2 heads, and Jirobu. Why were you kissing Tayuya? He demanded. I'm Mitarashi Chaos, and I was kissing Tayuya because we were enjoying each other's company and I wanted to give her something to remember me by. You. Chaos turned just in time to see Tayuya scream in fury as she jumped on him, knocking him to the ground before punching him as hard as she could for embarrassing her in front of the Otokage. After a moment, she got up and started kicking him. Stop, precious, that tickles. That only served to infuriate her more. A scream of rage and she delivered a kick between his legs. Chaos stopped laughing and didn't move. Ow. Stiffly, he stood back up. Was that necessary? You kissed me in front of the Otokage. A girl shouldn't curse, Jirobu said to Tayuya only to wilt back at her glare. So, he didn't seem to mind and I know you didn't, precious. Stop calling me that. Smack. Chaos turned his head back to her. Have I told you your fiery nature drives me wild? He grabbed her and pulled her into another kiss. Tayuya tried to struggle him a moment before she stopped resisting. He's doing it again, Kidumaru shouted. He pulled her off. Tayuya, we know nothing about this guy. His face went blank as Tayuya turned her wrath on him and slugged him in the gut. Stay the out of this. And you. She turned back to Chaos to continue to beat the hell out of him. Only for him to duck her, catch her in his arms from behind, and begin kissing this spot behind and below her left ear on her neck. I swear, when I find out what it is about this that makes me weak at the knees, I'll kill you. Her breath hitched when he gave her a love bite there. Until then, precious. He spun her around and gave her a goodbye kiss. I will miss you, bitch. An instant later, he jumped back, spread his wings, and flew off. Tayuya stood there for a moment before she started to fall to be caught by Ukin, who had to jump from his brother to catch her. I'm going to kill that damn shithead, Tayuya muttered. Sakin leaned over the still hurting Kidumaru. Who should we be afraid of more, him or her, when we try to keep her from him? Tayuya stood back up, groaning. Let's find Kimimaro. We have a mission from Orochimaru-sama. We are to go to Konohagakure as representatives and try to coerce Chaos to leave Konoha. Well, shit, Kidumaru wheezed. Ooh. Sarutobi looked up from the scroll. I give you the day off and you fly to Rice. I wanted Habusake, Chaos said with a shrug. Speaking of which, he unsealed the one and set it on the table. The golden liquor inside the jug with the snake fermenting inside looked particularly fine. I don't accept bribes, Sarutobi told him. That's all right, I know a bar that will gladly accept this. He reached for it when Sarutobi pulled it to him. This is evidence, he said, a smirk on his face. Well, let's see what the Otokage has in mind. He unrolled it and began to read. Trade agreements, alliance dealings, the usual. Yay or nay? Well, it appears that Otogakure has to offer two things many don't. 1. It claims to have connections in undergrounds to use as spies. 2. It owns the brewery this jug of sake came from. Really? He looked at the brand seal and saw a music note on it. Wow, these bloody coincidences are giving me a headache. I bought this before going there. I got directions to the best around and was told this was it. Sarutobi looked at the offer. It would be no different than an agreement of lumber from mills owned by Konoha. Well, I'll bring this up to the council at the next meeting and await the messengers being sent. Go, enjoy your day off. Oh, I was until I had to return. He had this shit-eating grin on his face showing he had a very good time. My little honey is firecracker, he sang as he walked out. Ooh. A few days later, Chaos was on a mission with one of the older genin teams, escorting a caravan while a member was sick in quarters with the flu. They were only a half hour away from the destination when he felt something hit his back hard. Feeling for the object, he found it was a broken arrow lodged in his clothes. Ambush. He pulled out the death penalty, taking a sword in each hand as he spun to face the attackers. He was disappointed when it only turned out to be bandits. Snapping the handles together to form a double blade configuration, he pulled his arm back and threw it like a boomerang. The other three watched as it sliced through the air, cutting apart small trees, men, and boulders before returning back to him. Those that survived wisely decided to run. So disappointing. The Jonin, a man named Kuroku, whistled. Niece, why are you doing C-rank missions? Because there hasn't been anything bigger yet. Chaos frowned, wishing for some excitement. Real excitement. There was nothing to do when they got to the destination and nothing on the way back, even as he walked to the tower. He really wished Ow, he muttered when a redhead kicked him in the crotch after he passed through the gate. That is for kissing me, you. Tayuya gave him a haymaker to the jaw. That was for the bite. A kick to the ribs. That is for leaving like you did, shithead. As she was pulling her leg back, he grabbed her ankle, pulling her from her feet as he stood up. Cradling her in his arms, he said, "Well, you're a bit big to keep as a pet, but I don't think Mama will mind too much." Smack. Put me the hell down, you goddamned, perverted, demon, shit. As you wish, precious. He just dropped her, making her shout again as she rubbed her butt. She growled before her hands started doing hand signs. Two of her companions jumped on her arms, stopping her from finishing it. Let me go. I'll kill him, I'll kill him. Og. She ripped her arm free, reached around, and grabbed a snake that had squeezed her. She followed it to where it joined with Chaos, arm at the wrist. She glared at him while he smirked while the two grabbed her again. Tayuya, remember the mission, Kidumaru pleaded. I'd gladly fail it just to, she screamed. Me, Chaos interrupted. Well, he looked her up and down. I usually go for older women, but I guess I can make an exception for you. Another scream of rage and Tayuya pulled her arm with even more force, throwing both Sakin and Kidumaru off. She jumped at him, planning on strangling him, but Chaos stepped back and spun his arms around hers, locking them behind his back, pulling her close. Let my arms go, retard. I swear. Every damn day, he interrupted again. But precious, if I let you go, I can't kiss you like I can see you wish to be. He leaned down, breathing just on her lips. But if you honestly down want me to. He had leaned down a bit more until his lips were brushing hers as they moved. What is going on here? An Anbu said, dropping down close to them. She came hearing a fight. She found Chaos nearly kissing a kunoichi from a different village. Definitely not what she expected. Chaos smiled at her. Hello, Eagle-san. Nothing is going on here, really. Just greeting a friend. Eagle-san, this is Tayuya-chan. Tayuya-chan, this is Eagle-san. All five of the Sound Five widened their eyes, unable to believe he would actually say that. The other four glanced at Tayuya while she growled before slamming her forehead into his nose, breaking it. Chaos stumbled back. Ah, that hurts. He snapped it back in place, and rubbed it a moment. Tayuya screamed in fury and was about to jump on him again before each limb was grabbed by her teammates and she was pulled back. Keep hold of her, Kidumaru shouted. Last thing we need is her killing him. Eagle looked back to Chaos. Nothing much, He gave her a crooked grin. That's just her way of flirting. Flirting Tayuya screamed. I swear, even if it damn well kills me, I will make you suffer. You hear that, shithead? You will die. He blew her a kiss in reply. Tayuya, enough, Kimimaro told her. He didn't shout, but you couldn't tell by how she suddenly stopped. You know the Otokage has plans for this treaty. A treaty that will be ruined if you kill him. She growled only a moment longer before being put back on the ground. She marched right up to him and poked him in the chest. Let me make this clear. This isn't over. I wouldn't dream otherwise, precious. He quickly grabbed her hand, brought it up to his mouth, and kissed it. And I love you too. He jumped back, laughing as she tried to knock his lights out. Chaos, the Anbu scolded. Tayuya, Kimimaro said at the same time. The is asking for it. I can't help it, Anbu-chan, she's just too pretty when she's mad. Anyway, they are the messengers from Otogakure, hear about the treaty. His wings spread out and he started flying to the tower. Landing on the window sill, he tapped on the glass. When he saw the Hokage look up at him, he grinned as the old man sighed. At the motion to enter, Chaos opened the window. Once, just once, would it be too much to use the door? Not that hard really, a few flight of stairs, talk to my secretary, knock on the door. If that makes you too sick, you can call and we can meet somewhere. Chaos rubbed his chin, I'll do it as your retirement gift, old man. Sarutobi sighed, The day I leave office, figures. No problems. No problems. Everything went off without a hitch. Some bandits attacked but decided it wasn't worth it before they even made it in spitting distance of the caravan. Chaos set a written report down in his box. The messengers from Oto are here. Good. What are they like? Close team. The Sound 5, the Otokage's personal bodyguards. The leader is a Kagaya. The Mist's bone-using clan. Wonder how they got him. Chaos shrugged. Don't know. One has 6 arms, another has 2 heads, he becomes 2 people, brothers I think. There's a fat one, probably the most normal one there. And finally Tayuya-chan. He couldn't help but grin there. Oh, no, I know that smile. What did you do? Not much. His grin didn't go away. I just let her steal my first kiss. She kissed you. Chaos frowned at him. No need to sound that surprised, old man. Besides, it wasn't her idea. Sarutobi dropped his jaw. Tell me you didn't molest one of the personal bodyguards of the Otokage. Okay, I didn't molest one of the personal bodyguards of the Otokage. I'm serious, Chaos. Do you have any idea? Trust me, old man, she won't let it bother you, nor the treaty. How do you know? Chaos thought back to when she was kissing him back. Just a feeling I got. Besides, I only kissed her a few times. He turned to the window when they heard a yell. Where is that grabbing creep? Before Sarutobi could question that, Chaos chuckled and flew off. Hiruzen looked after him and sighed, he's going to cause the rest of my hair to go gray.